where my lower third just goes, nope, we're not here anymore.
Yeah. Okay, this is Saturday Morning Cartoons Monsterhearts Session 3, second series, Session 3. I wanted to start by doing a recap of what happened last time. There were a lot of things happening last time. I want to make sure we don't forget anything. I'm going to lean on you guys for that a little bit. And then talk a little bit about like how we foresee the session kind of proceeding and then kind of going from there. So I have some notes, and my notes say Mr. Thompson was feeling suicidal, but he was talked off the ledge, so to speak, by Jonah. And so that situation is temporarily resolved. I have that Jonah threw Margot under the bus with Bellefontaine. That's a thing that happened. I have some general notes about Big Man. He seems to be executing either some kind of vengeance directed by the forest at people or some kind of program to essentially destroy those who would like try to master the forest. Still a little unclear at this point. In any case, he seems really determined to provoke some kind of showdown with Thomas. Like he keeps like pointing you guys at Thomas. Like that feels like that's something he's doing. And I don't think it was an accident that he like basically did this like ritual formula on the chalkboard in front of Thomas. I think like that was all on purpose. Then I've got Margot's situation with Shadow Master 55, where you were supposed to be meeting. What was the story with that, Margot? Like, what were the details? I'm trying to remember.
So I went out to smoke a bowl when I fled the classroom when Big Man showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And at least I think that's what happened. And Chad and Austin were out there.
Right.
And I talked with Chad because he was wigging out. And Margot basically said, fine, I'll meet with this guy. Give me the info. And I was going to set up a meeting.
Right, indeed. Okay, cool. So you have not done that yet, right?
Correct.
Okay, good. That's good. I want to make that situation just a little bit more like salient and say that you actually got a phone number for that guy. Is that okay? As opposed to like just some, I think it'd be more interesting to have it be a phone call.
Yeah, I think I actually
internet
did
transaction.
Yeah, I had Chad, I think, give me his contact info so I could set that up and push it.
Good.
Oh, that's right. And I also told Chad he could show up and watch if he wanted, or he could hide.
Right.
Just forget that whole who's a man.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's see. What else did I take note of? I feel like I'm missing something. I mean, the big thing that happened last session, the real big centerpiece was that classroom scene.
Mm-hmm.
And that I felt pretty covered on. The very last thing we saw in the whole session was Ellen with her father during one of her father's fugue states of like going and visiting his daughter's grave, who knows which one, right? A makeshift grave out in the forest. And also kind of intimating that like maybe this has been happening even like more than we think as well. Like there's like a bit of intimation of that. I don't think I need that scene, Ellen. I think it was a nice creepy little bang to end on or whatever. But I was happy we were able to take it there though, because I think it really says a lot about the character. In addition just to being supremely creepy, it was a really, really creepy moment.
And one thing I want to say is Thomas had a reaction at the end of the Big Man scene, but it was really ambiguous to us about what he saw and what his actual reaction is. And that's something I'm really curious about.
Yeah, he was very like, like I purposely set it up. I wanted it to be like Thomas was seeing something a little different than the rest of you guys. And that's important. That's important to things that I don't want to share at the moment. But yeah, he was like, it was all a bit of theater for Thomas in some ways, the whole scene, right? But also you guys, because it was kind of like, it was like Big Man basically like putting all the pieces on the board, right? And in that sense, if to the extent that you feel like manipulated by Big Man, that's probably the right way to feel, okay? So As far, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. As far as like and Sarah, that's worth mentioning. Um, that was an important detail. The fact that Big Man kind of went after Sarah, and I think we'll have a chance to continue kind of like developing like the fact that Sarah is a little like, even though she doesn't quite know what's going on, and she got hypnotized by Serena. I think she's still. I think that might be something we follow up on if it feels right, like because there could be more to that story, basically, right, with Sarah and her family. But we know at the outset that they own the lumber mill. So, I guess I just want to talk about like this. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Serena did feed on Sarah too to snap her of it, right? Okay.
Right. Yeah, and then hypnotized her basically to make her just like go home, like go home for the day and rest, and not come back until her wounds heal, essentially. So we have a few little things on the board. Last session was very much like I feel like Big Man and Bellefontaine both loomed very large last session. I think I personally would like to pull back on that this session. I'd like for this session to be maybe a little bit more, to the extent that the threats get pushed at all. I think it's going to be Thomas, and then, but otherwise, I think I'd like to just have it be more like, just kind of focused on like non-school, like you guys stuff. Does that make sense? Like a little bit more just about you guys, and a little bit less about all the drama that's sort of hanging over the school. And so that's my sort of general sense of where I think the session is going to go. I think we're at the end of a school day. I don't think we have any more classroom to do. So I think it's a good excuse to go do other things. And Margot has a definite thing to work on. Jonah, you have a definite thing to work on. I want to get the dark power stuff sorted, I think, this session. I'd like to get that done with Thomas if possible. I think that needs to be a priority. Thomas did say in session 1 that you were, at the end of the school day, you were basically going to fuck him. That was like, that was what he said, and that's the way it was going to be. He was almost like you had no choice, right? But of course you do have a choice, but if you want whatever he's got, you don't have a choice. Let's see. So yeah, what do you guys think as far as like the session goes and scenes you want to have?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about the Thomas stuff, the dark power, and Bellefontaine left me at this police station and told me to find my own way home. So I feel like that is a really good opportunity. Just be like for Jonah to maybe call on this dark power.
Yeah, I'm into that one. And you actually have, I mean, you can walk back to the double Q where Thomas's car is, right? You have Thomas's car. It's parked at the diner.
Okay, right.
You took it. Yeah, and Bellefontaine intercepted you at the diner and then took you in his car to the police station.
Right, that's right. Okay. Yeah, we could start.
I'm into that. I think that's a good. I think we can pick up with that. That sounds good to me. What do you think, Sabrina?
So I think, given the opportunity, I'm probably going to be continuing the plan of undermine Jonah's gang, of getting Tony on board, and maybe like starting my own gang that might include Ben and Ellen and all the people that are not the popular kid type things.
Nice. Good. Okay, I'm into that. Ellen, what about you?
Oh, I'm planning on creeping into Serena's house after dark.
Bingo, I'm into it. And Margot, do we want to go straight to investigating Shadow Master or what?
Yeah, I think we should just roll right in there.
Awesome. Let's do that. So, Margot, I think it's like at the end of the school day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go back home, I assume?
Actually, I think the way I'd like to play this is have Margot meet up with Chad when school gets out, have her waiting at his bitchin' Camaro.
Right,
and because what I want to do is have him call Shadow Master and set up the meet and have him not know that I'm listening in on the whole conversation and setting up the place and stuff.
Okay, I'm into that. So, I'm into that. Okay, good. So yeah, you meet Chad. Chad's there. I mean, we could just kind of skip to that part. Chad's like, he's like, okay, so you want me to call? Where do you want me to tell him to meet? To meet? Where are we going to go? Where's this going to happen?
There's this place out in the woods, you know, where that walking path goes through the park at the edge of the woods. And there's the pond on the one side, and then there's those park benches in the wildflower garden. Tell him you want to meet him there.
He's like, all right. And he calls, you know, and at first he's like kind of on the other side of the Camaro, you know, like kind of like, you know, like, yeah, hey, you know, and then he kind of like circles around a little closer if you want to kind of like listen in on the conversation.
Yeah, I'll lean right in.
He's talking to your dad.
Holy shit. Oh my God. Margot kind of wigs out. She can't decide what she thinks about that right now. If she's impressed or it's definitely a total what the fuck moment though. But she looks at Chad
and he like, you know, kind of gets off the phone. He relays the message and all that stuff. And he's like, did you hear that? That guy's fucking creepy. Oh my God.
Yeah. And I'll reach out and grab both shoulders and go, you were very brave, Chad. Well done.
He's like, I don't need your patronizing tone here, Marco.
Well, you're getting it anyway, Chad. I'm not the fool who stuck all of a bunch of product up the nose after being fronted several $1,000s worth of drugs.
10,000 in fact. Which also begs the question, where'd your dad get all those drugs, right?
I'm wondering what goes on while I'm at school.
Right. Yeah, and so anyway, that's I don't need to, unless you want to go any further on that. I don't know anything else that soon. I think we got what we needed out of that. So awesome, cool. All right. Serena, where do we find you? You can frame your scene up. You're muted, Josh. We can't hear you. Sorry, I muted you earlier when you typed.
Right. I think at the end of the day, I'm probably looking for Tony is what I'm doing, because I think I can find Ben easier, and that might be more interesting once Jonah gets home to find Ben right next door. I think finding Tony now is probably where I would go.
So the last time we saw you interact with Tony, he was like kind of feeling a little sad about Dawn, right?
Yeah.
And you had kind of how'd that scene end? Remind me, I can't remember how that resolved.
So this was session 1 of this series, and I'm trying to remember.
No, I think it was the top of last session.
Was it top of last session?
Top of last session. You had like,
oh right.
I think it ended up being. I don't think anything happened. I think it was just you kind of like, you know, put yourself out there as a shoulder to cry on or whatever, right? And,
yeah, I think we left it sort of where Tony was going to come back to me if he needed it, because he needed space at the moment. And so I was offering the platform of space that he probably wasn't getting from Jonah.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. That sounds good then. Well, so where do you think you'd find Tony?
I think I'd probably find him somewhere where he doesn't think he will be found by anybody. So whether that's at like home or somewhere else, like where he's trying to be by himself is my guess. That, or he's somewhere where he's trying to deliberately find lots of people just to be with somebody else.
How about I think I want to go with, I think Tony has in his home like a little sort of makeshift art studio. He's the artist, right?
Yeah.
A little makeshift art studio that Jonah doesn't know about, that his parents kind of like, basically he like just asked his parents for some space in the basement and
right
kind of set it up, you know, and it's kind of like his space, right? You can't just walk in there though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do? How does this go?
So I think so like I like the idea of like, you know how those basements have like those little tiny windows like at the top where there's like a little bit of natural light that comes in. And so like I think I walk up to like one of those, like I know he's there, and like I just like knock on the window and like I'm peering down, so like I'm like almost lying down on the ground, like looking in through the window at like where he is.
Right. Yeah.
And knock from there, because it's probably closed or probably can't even open.
Right.
And just like waving at him to get him to notice me.
Yeah, he does. He'll go over. He'll come to the like. I think it's like a cellar. There's like a cellar door or whatever, and he pops the cellar door open. It kind of flings open and kind of slams on the ground, and he's still just like standing in the middle of the little stairwell that goes down the cellar, right? And he's like, hey, I'm cool. I'm just kind of working through this stuff. I know you're just trying to be helpful. I know you're just trying to like, reach out to me or whatever, but I think I just need some alone time right now.
Well, I mean, it's a nice day out, and I kind of like gesture at like the rest of the day. I was like, maybe a little bit of a walk or something.
And
might take your mind off of it.
He's kind of like, I think he's like, I'm not going to make you roll. He's just like, yeah, okay, yeah. And he comes up the stairs, and he's like covered in like, I think he's got like, I think he's been experimenting with like, watercolors or something. So it's like, he's got like an old white shirt that's like smeared with, waters, various, paint stains and things like that, and he looks pretty good. Like we've established that your character is asexual, but I'd be curious just like how you perceive Tony's like sort of raw sexuality, right? Like he's fit, he is good looking, he has strategically, tastefully placed paint smudges all over his biceps and shoulders and things, right? Production was really careful about that. So like, how are you feeling? Like how does it make you feel, and how does that conflict with your basic disposition of not having sex with at least at the very least with humans, right?
Right. I think it's very much like how people appreciate art that is not their style. Like where they recognize, oh, this is good art, this is something people like, but it's not my thing. Like I recognize that this is something somebody else would really want, but it's not really what I care about.
What do you care about?
I think part of what he's displaying is that, and is the fact that like he seems more himself now rather than like trying to be something else. And so like I think that's the most attractive bit about what he has here, not necessarily like the tastefully placed paint, but more the fact that like he is doing something that he cares about and not really trying to be something that he's not.
And I think if it's not, just to make it perfectly clear for Serena, I think you'll pick up on the idea that it's because Jonah is distracted, right? It's because Jonah is currently preoccupied with like bullshit, right? And so like I think like just because of that, like Tony is like he's super malleable right now, right? Whether Jonah likes it or not. I mean, he could be he can be got.
So I think when he comes out and he looks at him, and like probably like right when the sunlight comes down as he steps out of the cellar, you get like the weird shaft of light on him. And like I kind of like go over to him and like maybe tug on the shirt and like maybe straighten it out just a little bit, and I'm like, you look good like this. It looks like you're doing what you like doing. You should do that more often and not care what other people think about your art.
I think you should turn someone on.
Sure. Yeah. I am okay with that. All right. Where's Google Hangouts? Oh, awesome. I get a 6.
So where were you guys headed when you were walking?
I think we're probably just gonna walk around. Like, where does Tony? What would make sense for Tony to live like in relation to the town? Like, I kind of feel like he lives sort of on the edge, but not like. So like, I think maybe we walk like just along the edge of town, like almost like if there were a railroad, like we would be walking down like the railroad ties type thing.
Yeah, I'm into that. Okay. Let's hold that thought. I'll come back to it. All right.
Perfect.
So Jonah, you are at the police station. Thomas's car is at the, or you were walking back from the police station or whatever. Thomas's car is at the double Q. Where are you at? What's going on?
So I'm walking down the road, and there's the forest in the background, and I'm walking up to the diner, and I can't see Thomas's car yet, and I'm kind of wondering if I keep walking around the building, will I see his car there? And so I just slowly make my way around the building.
Yeah.
And sure enough, there it is.
Right.
And yeah, I go and I open the front door kind of slowly and then sit down in it.
I think you get a call on your cell phone.
Okay. All right. Hello.
Where the fuck are you with my car?
I just got back in it.
Well, I don't plan on walking home like some kind of fucking peasant. So why don't you come get me right now? Or better yet, why don't you come drop off my car and then you walk home like a fucking peasant?
I'll be there soon.
He just hangs up.
And I'm starting the car and I'm like, I wish I had a car like this.
Indeed you do. Indeed you do. It's a very nice car. Just that faint tomato leaf smell is the only thing about it. Okay, well, so you go. I think you just go back to the school or what to go get him. Do you follow through with this?
Yeah. I think I do go back to the school. I kind of pull into the school parking lot, into the student parking section. And
he's there when you get there. It's like you find him, like you pull around to the back, kind of like where you guys like originally pulled in at the beginning of the school day, and he's there talking with the custodian. You see him just like having a conversation with the custodian. Like, it's late in the day. There's not many students around, just him. And they're like laughing about something. They're like talking and laughing about something when you pull up. I can't remember the custodian's name, but in any case, you pull up and he's like, finally, he steps over and he like opens the driver's side door. He's like, he just like kind of points like, get out.
And I reluctantly get out and open the door for him. Thanks for letting me borrow it.
He's like, yeah, how did things go? You know, with Mr. Thompson.
Fine. I mean, whatever. Yeah.
Don't look fine.
He's in jail.
Big shocker. I didn't think you were going to go bail him out or anything. I mean,
no, I checked on him and he seems encouraged. So whatever. Mr. Bellefontaine is probably going to look into some of these other people around here now.
Great. Awesome. All right. Well, I've got shit to get to. And he closes the driver's side door and he's about to leave you there at school. What do you do?
I knock on his window.
He rolls it down like it's like slow, like you've already wasted a pretty significant portion of my day, Jonah.
Didn't we have plans?
We did, but something happened in class today. Something came up. I got an extra homework assignment that I wasn't anticipating. But you can tell he's still like
Homework?
Like he's like, oh yeah, we did have plans, but he's also like, I think he's feeling a little conflicted, basically.
And
you can try to push on it if you want.
Yeah. I think what I do is I cross my arms and I say, that's fine. And then I like pull out of my backpack the mask and I'm like, I just want this to get stronger soon.
Do you have the mask on?
Sure. Yeah.
Nice. Turn someone on.
Oof. Super high. 11.
Dude, let's look at the move here. 10 plus. You get a string, and they choose from below. Okay, he'll do I give myself to you. He says, all right. I guess homework can wait. Get in. I'll give you a ride home.
So I like walk around and get in, shut the door.
He's like, you can take that fucking mask off.
So I take it off.
And then, yeah, he pulls out. And you have a string on him. You can mark out.
Got it.
Ellen, where do we find you after you trek back from the woods?
I have a scene that I have in my head. So I imagine we've talked about me going into the houses after dark.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And I imagine that, and I've talked that's kind of almost that's a little bit unconscious for me. And I imagine that maybe unconsciously beforehand, I go by those person's houses just to kind of see what they are and maybe case it out.
Mm.
And so I'd like a scene where I'm doing that and her parents spot me.
Oh,
since we kind of set Serena's parents up.
Serena's parents. Oh,
Serena's parents last time. We kind of put them.
Yeah. Okay, so Serena's parents, we've established that they are essentially these deep hypnotized, like people who are not actually her parents. That's super interesting. What are you hoping to, just out of character, what are you hoping to like happen here between Ellen and Serena's parents?
Well, I know she's a vampire or something weird. So while I didn't want to interact with her parents, there is a thing where I'm very curious about parents. So I just want to maybe interact and see what they're like.
Oh, sure.
I mean, how did she get so cool and awesome? I mean, she's still a vampire. Maybe her parents will like me, and maybe that would make me interesting as well.
So where do they see you when they spy you skulking around?
I imagine it's probably me actually in their backyard.
Oh, nice. Good. God, so creepy. All right. So you're, what time of day is it?
Oh, well, like since we know that Serena's out doing that to kind of cut crosses, probably like right after school.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. All right. So yeah, we haven't resolved what's going on with Serena and Tony yet. So I want to make sure we don't go too far afield from what's possible there, but I'm into this. So you're in the backyard and what do you see in the backyard that is a hint or an indication that that whatever this is here is like not real? Like this is a facade of some sort. Like what's in the backyard that seems to indicate like this is not a normal home life?
I imagine that there's a sort of high privacy fence, and they have a beautiful front lawn. But I imagine when I kind of come into the backyard, nothing has been done here.
Oh, it's just like completely overgrown. Yeah, good.
Weeds and like there's like a kid's sandbox back here that looks. I'm like, okay, with it's kind of wet and messy and leaves have gotten stuck in it, and I'm kind of looking around because I'm trying to figure out if this is the right house.
So it's like the front is manicured because that's the front facing, like, but the back is like, when you peel under the surface, so to speak, and you get this. Okay, good. I like it. And I think I'd like to twist it up just a little bit. I think you spot them before they spot you. And what you see is a woman, presumably Serena's mother, in the kitchen. You can see through like the back door window, or the glass of the back door, and the window in the back. You can see her in the kitchen, and she is she's just slowly like bumping her forehead against the pantry door over and over again, like.
Ooh.
Just bump, bump, bump.
What do you do? I think I kind of clutch my backpack to me, and I'm going to kind of walk past towards the front, but like keeping my eyes on her. So if she does come to, she'll see me watching her, because that is so, I don't know.
Do an act under pressure, or keep your cool, whatever we call it in this one. Keep your cool. Keep your cool.
Keep your cool.
Yeah, I think this is a sufficiently scary situation.
So that'll be an 8.
You go unnoticed. You're fine. So you can proceed with the scene. What happens?
I'll go around to the front door, and maybe I'll step back and I'll see if, when I look in the front, if I can see anybody else around.
I would say at a glance, no, you don't really see anybody. Yeah.
Then I will ring the doorbell.
Well, the door's just open.
Oh.
Looks like whenever Serena left, she forgot to pull it too.
Hello?
There's no answer. Maybe you have to go in deeper.
Oh yeah, I'll go into their house. I have no sense of boundaries. I just got to walk in, and I start looking at things, picking them up and putting them down, and I'm probably not calling out for anybody anymore. Now I'm just in the house.
Yeah.
I'm going to touch everything.
That's good. Where do you go in the house?
Oh, let's see. So there's probably a dining room. So I'll go there and I'll look at all the dishes.
Well, you go to the dining room.
Oh.
And when you go to the dining room, you see a man sitting at the head of the table, presumably Serena's father. There is a plate set out in front of him, and a glass, and cutlery and all that stuff. No food on it. And he's just like going through the motions with his knife and fork, like just clinking on the porcelain plate, and then going for the glass and drinking nothing, putting it down, doing that. Still hasn't noticed you.
I'll put down the precious moments I picked up and set down.
Indeed. I feel like you are. I think you can gain a string on her parents because you've witnessed them in this like private moment. I think it'd be interesting to find out how you might use that in the future. But did we name them, Serena? I can't recall.
Yeah, we did, and I'm trying to find their name.
I may have that somewhere.
At least I thought we did.
Yeah, I thought we did too. I've got Mary and Bob or Jonah's parents. Was it Ken and Yvonne?
No, that's Margot's.
Yeah.
Those were Margot's parents. That's right. Okay. Maybe we didn't name them.
Gina and Ray.
Gina and Ray. I don't think we named them because we didn't actually see them last time.
Yeah, it's fair. We saw them very briefly.
Yeah. I think we kind of described like your house life a little bit, but I don't think we like really had a scene with them. So you have a string on Gina and Ray, Ellen. This is weird. It's like they're stuck in a loop or something. It's totally strange. What do you do?
I think I'm going to walk around the other part of the house to see if there's anybody else besides the mom and dad.
Indeed.
Serena, this is getting less fun as it's going along.
Serena, what else do you expect Ellen will find when she roams around your house?
She probably finds, like, if she goes up to my room, she'll probably find stuff of like my old life that like I maybe held on to that doesn't really match up with this. Things that would be a little bit different. Especially like since we established like there were like these like really fake pictures and things like in the main hallway and stuff. And so like you'll see like maybe a picture of like maybe what my parents were when I was a kid, and they're like totally two different people.
Right.
Like it's like like something like that.
Yeah, like you, like clearly you, but like younger with like people who are not the people that Ellen is looking at. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm into that. So I want to have that scene out. Ellen, you go into Serena's room, and let's just talk about Serena's room as a group at the table. What do we see in Serena's room? That's each of us one detail that's evidence of what she truly is. Like I think there's some like little small bits of evidence in the room of like what she truly is. I'll go for the easy one. I think there's like grave dirt like under her bed.
I suspect she has cleaning supplies up there.
Intense, like biohazard cleaning supplies.
Yeah,
right?
in a closet, and teens don't have that in their closet.
Nice.
Since you touch everything, I think what you see is like there's a poster of somebody who like some famous music star or something like that, but like you can see one of the edges is just like lifted up slightly, and like you lift up the poster and behind it is a bunch of like occult books of like things like on vampires, but it's like something she's hiding behind, she doesn't want displayed.
Nice. Kevin, what do you think?
Pardon me. I'm gonna go with one small children's shoe with a few drops of blood on the canvas, like a little kid's, and that's laying in the corner of the closet.
Nice. Philip?
Yeah, and I think also in the closet, like on the top shelf, like in the back, there's some like stacks of clothes that are like really old looking. And I think there's also like there's like really dark curtains over the window to like block out the light.
Yeah, even though she can walk around in sunlight, it's still presumably not comfortable. Right.
Yeah.
Good. Ellen, I'm just going to give you a chance to kind of do something in the scene then here. You've seen all this stuff. It's very weird. What do you do?
I'm going to take that. We've got the picture frame with the past, with the other set of parents, and I'll do that thing where I turn the little slots on the back, take it out, take the picture, put that back, and put the empty frame back in place where it was.
Nice. And you can go ahead and take the benefit of your creep move on Serena too. Just take a string on Serena if you want.
Okay.
All right. Let's cut over to. Let's just take a quick break. Let's take like 2 minutes. I'll get some coffee.
Margot might finally actually have to have it out with her dad.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how Margot is going to approach this. She's normally very confrontational, but
she was very demure when she had to make eggs last time. So,
yeah, I don't know if she's going to be all pissed off that in theory her dad's had all this money and not used any of it for the family, or if it's going to be more playing it out, seeing how far she can string him along to see what's really going on or what. I don't know if she'll have the patience for that. That just totally blew me away when Jason dropped that on me, though. That's awesome.
Wait on Philip. Are you there? Or are you just off camera? Okay. All right. We'll give Philip a minute. I haven't forgotten about that 6, Serena. Fear not.
Works for me. I figure if we set it up that I'm on the edge of the forest anyways, with a 6.
Oh, yeah. Like almost anything can happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Last thing we saw was Ellen creeping around Serena's house. I'm going to cover Margot. Margot, you know something now about what's going on, right? You have like what do you do? What this information?
Well, her head's spinning. Part of her is super pissed off that if her dad really has that sort of money to move around product like that, he's not been sharing it with the family.
Or maybe he doesn't. I mean, there's lots of different reasons.
Yeah,
like, there's not different ways this can go, right?
Yeah, she doesn't know where he fits in, if it's part of a larger drug organization. So her intent is going to be to try to just play him along a bit and see what she can suss out, and see if she loses all patience and just flips out or not, because she's not the most patient person ever.
So I guess you're gonna try to confront him at the trailer.
I'm not going to confront him at the trailer. Because
Or
I
you're
want.
gonna go with it, or you're gonna go with the meeting spot. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the meeting spot where confrontation will be, but I'm gonna go back to the trailer and just kind of try to get a feel for what the hell's going on.
Okay.
Now that I've got this new unexpected perspective on Pops to see.
When you go to the
What the heck?
trailer, I think it's like maybe. Are you supposed to meet them today, like tonight, or is it?
After supper, so we'll say 6:30 or 7.
All right, so it's like it's late in the afternoon, then not quite that time, and you get home and your dad is dressed for once, which is unusual for him, like to have pants on and a shirt, and he's sitting on the couch. He's got I think he's got Fox News turned on, right? And he's like, well, hey honey, how was school?
It was weird.
School was weird.
Yeah, there's like this FBI agent who's been coming around stuff, pulling people out of class and asking questions.
That's
Really strange.
probably because your teacher offed a bunch of kids last week. I'm just gonna throw a wild guess out there.
Well, I know that's at least the initial reason he showed up, but he's asking just all sorts of questions of everyone. Seems like he almost doesn't believe that.
You're not involved in that shit, right?
Me? No.
Because I'm just telling you right now, Margot, we can't afford a lawyer. I mean, it's not happening. So if something happens to you, you're fucked. I mean, you better have a plan. That's all I'm saying.
Public defender.
Right? Yeah. Good luck with that.
You know about that stuff?
I'm just saying, you get public defenders. I mean, they've got huge caseloads. You're one of 150. I mean,
yeah, but I stand out.
hmm.
So what's up with the outfit? Got an interview or something?
Yeah, you could say that. Got some business to take care of. Got some stuff to deal with tonight.
Cool. Are you gonna be here for supper or?
No, I thought I'd go to the Double Q and grab a burger or something.
Huh.
Give you and your mom some alone time, some mother-daughter time.
That's cool. That's cool.
Hey, while you're busy standing out, would you stand out over by the fridge and grab me a beer?
Sure.
Thanks.
Go over to the fridge, shake it a little bit, and then toss it to him. There you go.
He's definitely given up the info here, right? Like,
Yep.
He's definitely going to be doing this thing, right?
Yep.
Again, there's no indication that he should have this kind of connections or money or anything. Like, this
Right.
is totally
Like
weird.
came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I've never smelled meth or anything like that on
Nothing
him.
like that.
Anything.
No,
Okay.
no pot. I mean, you've smelled pot because it's your
Right,
dad,
but
like,
nothing hard.
nothing like that. No.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Yeah, he opens the beer, it sprays on him. He's like, God damn it, and he kind of, gets all over his shirt.
Sorry about that.
Ironed.
I shouldn't have thrown it so hard.
He's like, now you have to iron me another shirt.
Sure. Go get it.
He does. So what do you do?
When he brings the shirt back to me, I'm gonna try to take a real subtle deep sniff, and what I'm trying to figure out is if there's something fundamentally different with my dad than the way he was when I last was interacting with him. Because it seems completely out of character. It doesn't fit in with stuff that's happened in the past. And so part of me is like, is this big man fucking around with my family doing something to him? And so I don't know if that's like a gaze into the abyss.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I would just go into the weirdness a little bit more. Like, how are you gazing into the abyss here? I mean, as opposed to just doing a sort of investigation move.
Yeah, not just So as he hands his shirt to me, gonna like look him just right dead in the eyes and go like, you seem different tonight, Dad. You feeling okay? Sorry about that beer.
He's like, yeah, I'm feeling fine. In fact, and he kind of stretches. He's like, because I'm stretching. He says, in fact, I've got a pretty sweet score tonight. I've had a few things lined up. Margot, your dear old dad he's got a bit of a mover and shaker. He's got some stuff going on. And tonight I'm going to pick up the fruits of my labor, if you will. And I don't know. Once I have it, I think maybe I'll take you and your mom somewhere really nice.
Like on a trip?
Well, let's not go crazy. I was just thinking like, maybe a Saturday afternoon at the mall or whatever, but sure.
So what's your
and you always accuse me of just sitting around all day while your mom works 2 jobs supporting us, but I've got shit going on, Margot. Shit you don't even know about.
Yeah,
What do you think of
obviously. I'm just wow. Go you, Dad. It's legal, right? Speaking of public defenders and not being able to afford lawyers.
I consider myself part of the new economy.
So like the gig economy that all of us kids are doing?
The gig economy. That's a great way of looking at it. You bet.
Huh. Well, good on you.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with it.
He's like, thanks. It's going to be pretty sweet.
Do you want me to, look up a bail bond number or anything just in case your gig economy goes sideways?
He's like, Margot, nothing's going to go wrong here. Like, trust me, I've had this lined up for months, since last summer, and it's all rolling back to me today.
Okay, well,
he legit thinks he's getting paid by.
Yeah, I see the certainty.
Chad, right?
Yep. Well, you be careful, okay?
Yeah, and he's good.
All right. How's the shirt look? Hold it back up.
He's like, real nice. He takes it and he puts it on and stuff, and he's like, what conditions do you have marked right now?
Oh, I have all sorts of conditions. I was looking like, oh my God.
He's just like,
I'm alive, vindicated, little woman, and terrified.
He's like, you look a little, I don't know, a little shell shocked or something lately, Margot.
Whole Kyle Norwood thing and Mr. Thompson and Allen. I mean, you don't think of that stuff happening to you or people you know, right? That always happens to someone. You just see a name in the newspaper and doesn't mean anything. But I was with these people. It's creeped me out.
He gets really serious and he looks at you and he says, honey, do you want me to like put you in some kind of therapy or something, like so you can talk this out with a professional?
No, Dad. Thanks. I appreciate that you'd actually think of that for me.
He's not. He's totally pulling your leg, and he's like totally full of shit. Like, and he's like,
best dad ever.
Just toughen up. It'll be all right. You'll get over it. As long as you weren't involved, you got nothing to worry about. And let those fucking degenerates swing. Who cares? Then he leaves.
I knew those people. Whatever. Go have good luck. Enjoy your burger at Double Q.
Indeed.
I suppose you'll be sad that Norma's not there to hit on anymore, huh? Oh, well.
I'm going to cut away. Serena, you are walking. I think you guys like something. I think like there's a bunch of like, I think like you're walking along the old rail line, and there's a certain part where it's just a bunch of like debris and stuff, and you have to kind of go around to like into the forest a little bit, and then circle back out, like make like an elbow, and so you're in the woods a little bit, and Tony's like, holy shit, do you see that? And he points, and you see a not completely unfamiliar sight to you. You see a hand sticking out of the earth.
I think I see what you see, but we probably shouldn't mess with this. I mean, given the FBI agent and Mr. Thompson and everything else, we should probably go get somebody else.
He's like, you don't want to. He's like, you don't want to see who that is or what it is.
All right. Before we go like touching anything, just because I don't want to start getting investigated by the FBI, who do we know that's missing?
No one. I mean, it was Kyle, and then we had all that shit from last week.
Yeah.
And
all right, let's go look at it.
I mean, maybe whoever killed Norma, maybe there's somebody else he got. I don't know. It was Mr.
Maybe.
I mean, if you really think it was Mr. Thompson, I don't personally. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Mr. Thompson did everything, but that's what everybody else is saying, and I don't have anything better to prove them wrong with it.
And I think so he wants to go check it out. I mean,
yeah. So like, I think I'll walk with him up to it a little bit closer. I'm like, all right, we can look at it a little bit closer. Just let's try not to touch anything, or anything like that. And so like, I think we like walk up a little bit closer, just to kind of like see what's going on. So is the body like buried like just haphazardly, or is it like dug in a grave? Like, what does it look like?
It looks like maybe it's like a shallow grave, right?
Like a shallow grave.
You have to dig a little bit, not too much, just a little bit to see the face.
Any carvings in a tree right at the head?
No, nothing like that. No. Well, nothing like that. Here's the thing. So we know that Tony is like in the back of his mind has like a low level suspicion of you, right? Jonah's already handled that from before.
Mm-hmm.
So just that's a thing. Whether Serena's aware of it or not, that is a thing that that Tony is kind of like in his mind. So I just want to remind everybody of that before we proceed here. He begins to like dig. He begins to like pull the leaves and the earth back.
I think as soon as he starts digging, like I like maybe go up and like pull on his shoulders a little bit, like to hold him back. I'm like, whoa, didn't we just say that we weren't going to touch anything?
Bo, I just want to see who it is. Okay, I mean, come on, Serena. Like, it's not. This is. Look, we're each other's witnesses. We're not going to be accused of anything. It's gonna be fine.
I'm like, all right, if you.
He's like, here, I'll take a picture, and he takes a photo of like what it looked like before, right?
And I just like shake my head. I'm like, all right, now there's photographic evidence being uploaded to Apple or Google. We're here,
right? He takes pictures. He's like, so now I've got a picture of what it looked like before we got here, so it's no big deal.
All right, fine. Whatever. I'm gonna stand back here. You want to take your pictures? You want to like mess with it? That's fine. I'm just gonna stand a little bit away because I don't think we should be touching this thing.
So you're not paying attention to what he's paying attention to.
Yeah.
Give me a keep your cool. This feels like a keep your cool kind of circumstance.
What is my actual cool? Yeah, so I get a 10.
Nice. You gain insight and initiative. You can ask me a question and take +1 forward when acting on the information. So in addition to keeping your cool, you also learn something. You can spend it whenever you wish. Like if you want the scene to go a little further, you can.
Yeah, sure.
So unless you have a question right now.
No, I don't have a question right now.
Okay. He digs up enough. You can't quite see what he can see, but he digs up enough and to where he can see like at least the face of whoever it is that's buried there. And he says, holy shit. It wasn't Mr. Thompson. He looks at you. He's like, it wasn't Mr. Thompson at all. Whoever it is, they're still out here. They're still killing kids. And and then he pulls out his sketchbook and begins sketching.
I like walk over to him and like to look at what he's like, but also to like, you have a camera. You just proved you had a camera. Like, why aren't you taking a picture of this instead of sketching it?
I think he's like just caught up in an artistic, an artistic warp.
Yeah.
Whatever, right?
So like I walk over to like go look at like what he's looking at and like just sort of like lightly hit him on the shoulder of like just take a picture of this.
He's like yeah. He puts the stuff away. He's like he's fumbling around. Do you look at the body? Do you see who?
Yeah. I'll go look at the body and see.
It's Ellen.
Okay. Awesome. And
who you just saw at school.
Who I just saw. How like decayed is this body? Because like, is it like brand new fresh?
It does seem a little decayed, yeah.
Yeah,
like a little more decayed than it should be, for sure.
I'm like,
but not so much that you can't make out the features.
Right. And I'm like, this is, yeah. I mean, Mr. Thompson.
It's that weird girl Ellen. I just saw her in class like earlier today.
Yeah, and I'm like, I saw her today too. Like
we've got to tell that FBI guy. We got to tell somebody. They're still out there. They're still out there killing kids.
You're right. We should totally tell them. But I look at it and I'm like, you're right. Like, we should just tell them.
And then he's like, look at her neck.
And I go down and I like take a lean over and look at her neck a little bit closer.
There are 2 distinct like bite puncture marks on her neck.
And I kind
assume Tony doesn't know your secret, right?
No, I don't think he does.
Okay.
So
Jonah, you're going to pick up on this. You're going to pick up on this like intense spike of emotion from Tony of like fear, and you'll even pick up on the like it's like fear of. You'll pick up on like he's generally scared, but also that he's with Serena. You're going to pick up on all that, right? Just do sort of emotional relay. How do you react? What do you do?
So in the car with Thomas right now.
Right. Yeah, he's taking you home.
I ask him to turn down the forest road.
He stops the car and he's like, you know this is a BMW, right?
Well, I'm sure you can get another one wherever you got this one from.
He's like, yeah, probably. And then he turns down the road and continues on. He's like, so where are we going? We're going to go fuck in the woods. Is that the plan?
Maybe, but I think there's something going on. And so the emotion I'm getting from him is fear, basically, right?
Yeah, fear and Serena. You're getting those 2 emotions that he feels when he's with her and also when he's scared, commingled here. Maybe Serena's attacking him. Who knows?
So I tell him, I think that Serena is up to no good. You remember Serena, right?
He's like, oh yeah, I know Serena. I've met her several times, actually. Even before I enrolled in school.
Good. Maybe you can help me deal with her.
He's like,
she's been getting in my business, and well, I'm sure you know that can't have these distractions while we're trying to do our thing.
He looks at you and goes, you know she's not alive, right?
Not alive?
No, not alive.
She's a vampire, right?
Bloodsucker, total bloodsucker, creature of the night, horrible undead.
That's so weird. Who could even imagine that vampires would be real?
At least you know what to call them in this fiction. We know they're called vampires, as opposed to zombie movies where they've never heard the word zombie before. In every zombie thing, I want someone to be like, "Oh, you mean like a zombie?" It never happens. He's like, Yeah, a lot of weird stuff in Mercy Falls. All right, so question, how do you know something's going on over here?
So, I have a connection to.
I mean, you're just a fucking cave dweller. How do you know? You can't sense anything, right?
I don't know. I kind of have a connection to a few people around town, and
you know, my people use your kind as cattle.
Well, you say that, but all I see around here are my kind, and none of your kind, except for you.
He's like, you've got a little bit of fire and self-determination in you, don't you, Jonah?
That at the end of the day, I've got to be the one in control.
Oh. And he's like, and he kind of like, he's like, you know, I think he's like feeling like, you know, a little like, I think it's turned someone on again. Like through Thomas's perspective, this has all turned someone on.
All right. Is a 10.
Indeed. You get the you get a string on Thomas, and he like stops the car immediately. Like you're nowhere near where he wants you to be, where you want him to be. He stops the car. He just kind of pulls basically off the road into the woods a little bit, down a little slope, and he gets out and he immediately begins to like start taking his clothes off.
And I get out and I tell him, look, I know you really want to do this, but I want to go find out what's going on with Serena and Tony.
He says, he walks up to you. He's like, at this point, he's got his like, I think like you're saying this, he's taking his clothes off. He's down, or he just has like a polo shirt on and like his plaid shorts, right? He like kind of slides those down. He's just standing there in his underwear, basically, right? And he's fit, you know. He's not as muscular as you, but he's fit. He's in good shape, good looking guy. And he steps up to you and he says, Jonah, listen to me. I'm going to give you all the power you could possibly need to take care of all of your enemies, whoever that happens to be. Serena, whatever. The special agent, whatever. You just got to give me what I want right now, and I will open my gate, so to speak, for you.
And so Jonah pulls his bag off his shoulder, reaches into it, and pulls out the mask.
Nice. As you go into it, are you like kind of aggressive about it, like kind of aggressive and like, you know, putting like kind of handsy, or how's this go? Or is it more like a mutual thing? I just want to know like with the basic, because in terms of like how he perceives power dynamics, I think it's important.
I think that when Jonah is wearing the mask, he's probably a lot more aggressive.
Yeah.
That seems to be what we've established.
I think you like push him up against a tree, and he's like, you know where I come from. I'm royalty. And what you just did, putting your hands on me like that, that'd be enough. That'd be enough to get you killed. He says, my person is sacred. And then he's like, but then you kind of see he like kind of smiles and like he doesn't give a shit about that, right? And yeah, you guys just go at it. So and do your thing. What's your sex move?
He joins my clique.
Oh, how interesting.
He gains the condition one of them.
Yeah. Good. So you'll have all the benefits of him being in your gang, with him also being your dark power. That's an interesting dynamic.
So weird.
He gets strings on you though, right? Like, how many strings does your dark power get to start? I think they get something in the beginning, right?
It has I give 2 bargains, and maybe it's on the sheet.
Oh, I think it's the history questions that give the dark power strings. I'm gonna just take one on you for now, and then your dark power stuff is good to go. Let's see here. I'm gonna come back to you, but it's doing what it's doing for now. And we left Serena. I'm gonna leave Serena and Tony looking at the body for a minute, and cut over to Ellen. So Ellen, you've had the run of Serena's house. You've looked at all this stuff. You've learned a lot about her. You've definitely figured out that like there's something going on, right? What do you do now?
I think I'm gonna go down to the kitchen and walk sort of to the doorway.
Bump. Mom.
And I'll say, like, with a sort of a solid voice, I'll say, and I don't know her last name, but I assume I do. So I'll say, "Hello, Mrs. Serena. Is Serena home?"
She looks up and sees you. And like a very like kind of warm smile spreads over her face. And she says, "Oh, honey, you're home." And she walks forward, like kind of like robotically almost, and like puts her arms around you as if in an embrace and hugs you tight.
I love hugs, so I'll hug her back. Yes, I'm home.
And then she leans back and looks at you and she says, "Did you have a good day at school today?"
My parents never asked me that. Yeah, it was great. There was all kinds of interesting stuff that happened today.
Then she goes to the refrigerator and pulls open the refrigerator and pulls out a carafe of blood and says, "Well, can I get you something to drink?"
Do we have any cookies?
And then she puts the blood back in and closes the thing. She looks at you and she's like, "Yes." And then she goes and she gets a package of cookies from the cabinet and sets them down, lays them out on the table for you. And then she just kind of watches you eat them if you eat them.
Well, if she stands there attentively, I'm going to tell her about my day.
I think you should. And she's at different intervals, she'll say, "That's very interesting. Wow, it sounds like you had a very exciting day."
It does, and so then he like made her bleed out of the eyes, and I don't know why that was happening. I know. Oh, and then I was on top of the lockers, and I watched him and the Axe body wash. That was pretty cool too.
She's like, "How fascinating."
Eventually, probably towards the end of this, I realize maybe just how absolutely artificial it is.
Right, yeah.
But it takes a while. I'm like, oh.
And yeah, and I think like I think yeah, it's just I like where it's going. I think maybe something happens that like kind of peels back things a little bit, right? Like she's like, "Well, I have to get dinner ready now." And she turns and she pulls out like a cutting board and pulls out a big like a big like chef's knife, you know, and then she begins like chopping something that's not there. She's like, and then she like slices her thumb, and there's just like a big gash of blood all over the cutting board. What do you do? She doesn't cry out.
Oh, I'll go and get. I'll go to the bathroom and get bandages. That's where you keep bandages, right? Band-aids.
Sure, yeah. There's,
Okay.
I'm sure you can find something like that.
Okay,
keep your cool. Keep your cool. It's
okay,
weird.
because this is a little freaking me out now.
She sliced her finger and didn't even respond, like it was nothing.
This stopped being fun a little while ago, by the way. Okay. So that's an 8.
You do keep your cool, and you find what you're looking for, and you and she still thinks that you're Serena or whatever she's supposed to believe, right? When you come back with the bandages,
Give me your hand. Give me your hand here.
she's like, "Oh, you can take care of that," and then she like just jams her thumb up by your mouth, like jams it up by your mouth and like smears blood on your mouth.
Okay, I'm gonna try and get the Band-Aid thing on here. Now there's a moment where I was like, oh, and then Serena will come home and it'll be really. And now I'm like, oh God, Serena's gonna come home. That's actually clear. That's not a cool thing anymore. And so I want to wrap that up. And I want to get out of here now. I want to leave. Okay. I want to get out of this house.
Indeed. You should go. Do a runaway. Do a runaway. I think this is getting,
absolutely.
Yeah, roll volatile.
Okay. That's not.
This is definitely like risking running into something worse, right?
So, an 11 minus 1 is a 10.
Nice. Let's see here.
I beat feet.
You get away to a safe place. Okay, cool. Where do you go?
I probably run just far enough away, like I'm across the street and hiding behind a tree.
Nice.
And probably that's where I am now.
Awesome. Cool. Serena, did you mark XP for when you rolled that fail last time? I didn't remind you, so I'll make sure you did it. I want to cut to Serena before I go out to Margot. So Serena, you're with Tony, who's freaking out, but who's still like really interested in what's going on. You know, he's got that tension of like, I'm freaking out, but I also can't look away. And you see that there's like clearly like bite marks on the neck. Like it's almost like too obvious, right? It doesn't even make any sense for how. Like,
it's very much like the bite marks on Kyle, I think it was.
Right, Kyle had the same bite marks, right? Yeah.
And so
like super obvious, like the head's even turned so you can see them, right?
Yeah, and so like I kind of like pull Tony like back because like I imagine like him still like leaning over and like taking pictures and doing things like that. So like maybe like grab him by like the shoulder or the waist or whatever and like pull him back. I'm like, look, this is enough. We should get out of here. We should go tell somebody. Like we've already like interfered with this thing more than we should. Let's just go. Let's let Special Agent whatever his mug look at this and they can do something about it.
Indeed. He's like, I think he's like, yeah, okay. I mean, are we gonna go tell the cops right now or what? I mean,
yeah, I mean that's what we should do, right? Is we should tell the cops right now.
Yeah. Why would anybody want to kill her? Gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. She seems so nondescript. I mean, why would anybody want to kill Norma, or why would like Kyle? Like everybody seemed to like Kyle. Who knows why these people kill these people?
And then he goes, and he's like, "Did you see those marks on her neck?"
What marks? I didn't see any marks on her neck.
She had look, and he takes the pictures out. He's got pictures.
Yeah. Like, oh, you're right.
He pinches to zoom and shows you. Like he's like,
yeah,
look, there's puncture marks on her neck.
Yeah, that does look kind of strange. Didn't one of the other victims have it? Yeah.
Keep it cool.
Hey, I got a 10. All right, so I think I still have that question from before. So I think what the question is
2 now.
Yeah, I think what I need to figure out is how to, like, it's weird because what I think would be more interesting is as we go back, like just story wise, is if both of us, while we're trying to tell somebody, we run into Ellen. Because then we're like, we don't want to tell the cops that we found this thing, but we have
right, yeah.
photographic evidence.
You would definitely have a lot. It would definitely be a super awkward scene, right?
Yeah. So like, I think what I want to do is like, I want to figure out how I can figure out where we would meet up with Ellen before we would get the cops here. Like, I don't know how, like, because like I think that's more interesting.
In character, do you believe Ellen's actually dead now, or do you suspect something different?
I suspect something is probably like I think there might be something that's weird with Ellen, but I don't know what it is because like I think I can figure out that the body is not exactly fresh, seeing as I've probably seen lots of dead bodies as a vampire, that like she looks more decayed than she should for seeing her this afternoon.
Right. Well, so we can just spend one of the questions to say like, oh, okay, like you definitely know it's not actually her, right? Like
Right.
maybe Tony doesn't realize that, but you realize it's not her. Like, or at the very least, it's not what it appears to be, right?
It's not what it appears.
Especially because like the bite marks, like that, like there's lots of reasons why between the bite marks and the body looking more decayed than it should. Like there's no like it doesn't make sense. You just saw Ellen, right? Like less than 2 hours ago. So there's that, and then. So with that information, then you want to spend that other question?
Yeah, I think I want to spend that other question more to figure out, and maybe like this is more about like slightly retconning instead of like telling like, all right, instead of like going to the police immediately, maybe we should just get out of here and figure out a little bit of what's going on, and maybe like go talk to Ellen's parents.
Oh, hey, Yosh, you're roboting just a little bit. Just hold that thought. I'll let you.
Sure.
Oh wait, you came back. Hold on. I think you're talk a little bit.
I'm still here.
Yeah, you're still better. Just rejoin the call. We'll come back to it. Margot. Okay. Well, so the time is approaching. What do you do, Margot?
All right. So I let my dad head off to the double queue. I want to walk by the double queue and just see if he's in there with anyone while I'm on my way out to the park there on the edge of the forest.
Yeah, I think you go to the double queue and you see weirdly enough, you see Sarah. She actually went to work today.
Really?
She's got like a scarf tied around her neck, right? But she's there. We know she works there. And she's just like she's there working. And your dad's there eating a hamburger, like I said he was going to be.
Oh, so he's solo?
He's solo. He's by himself.
Up at the counter. Okay, then I'm just gonna keep walking on out to the park and wait for Chad to show up if Chad actually has the balls to do that.
Do you want to run into another character at this point? This seems like there might be a good like opportunity to run into one of either the Tony Serena combo. Maybe you run into because maybe you like go by, Ellen. Maybe you cut across in front of Serena's house and see Ellen hiding behind a tree, or maybe you walk into Thomas and Jonah doing their thing.
I would like to bump into Ellen.
Okay. So you maybe like cut around
and
go up you go up the way where Serena lives, and you see Ellen hiding behind a tree. What do you do? She's clearly like hiding from something.
Right, and she still has some blood smeared across her face unless she cleaned it up from when the mom stuck the thumb up there.
Right, yeah.
Like, Ellen, are you okay? Someone hit you? You got some blood there on your lip? You all right?
Marco. Oh, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm this little... You all right, though? Isn't that where Serena lives?
Is it?
I will say, Margot, that because you're in proximity to Serena's house and your advanced senses, I think you're going to smell like the grave dirt, and you're going to smell the strong scent of grave dirt from Serena's house. But maybe that'll trigger a memory that you have about Ellen being buried in the forest, right?
Right.
You've seen that, right?
Yes. Yep. I saw her dad putting her body into a grave.
I think that's in the mix here.
Yep.
And I think that's a yeah, I feel like that's kind of in the mix here.
So
that was pretty weird today, huh? In class?
Yeah, that big man. Don't like him. He's bad
He's a
news.
pretty big guy, yeah.
He's bad. He makes you do stuff you don't want to do. Steer clear of him.
Is that why he's after Jacob?
Who's Jacob?
Or Jonah? Sorry. Johnny James.
I think he's after everyone. I don't know. He's like, okay, you saw the weird stuff in the classroom, right?
Just a point of order. I don't think Big Man actually cares about Jonah that much. We haven't really established any concern of Jonah with Big Man.
Oh, but I saw him taunting Jonah
I think he was just in the
shower.
I think he was just in the locker room being a creep.
Oh yeah, no, but that's my read. That's my read on it.
Oh yeah. In character, I do that. But I just want to make it clear out of character that like I don't think Big Man actually has any like particular thing. Yeah, sorry, I just want to clarify that. So go ahead.
So did you see that weird stuff in the classroom?
Which part?
Well, after I left, I was looking inside, and you guys all from the outside look like you're having a great time. And then I went back in, and there's like Sarah bleeding from her eyes, and Serena doing stuff, and
you were assaulted.
Yep. You saw that, right?
Yeah. I was part of that. It was really neat, It was kind of, and all kinds of stuff like you got like the special kids, cool kids, special kids, and and that weird Tommy guy. He was strange.
Yeah, he's a creep too. So you're sure you're okay? You seem a little off.
No. It's no. Yes, no. So what are you up to? Where are you going?
I'm going out to the woods. You want to come along? I'm meeting some people. It might be interesting.
Yeah. I like the woods. The woods is cool. Yeah.
You do like the woods, huh? You don't think they're creepy or? Most people are creeped out about the woods.
Yeah, they're creepy.
All right. Well.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. I could go with you.
Are folks okay with that? Do you need to let them know?
I don't need to tell them anything.
Okay. Let's go. I'm going to be meeting a couple people. I'll just warn you, Chad might be out there. Ooh. So, yeah, he's a douche, but what are you going to do? Hot body, though, right?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd like the line as we walk away is I go, so have you met Serena's parents?
Good. So it's after the deal, Jonah. You and Thomas are, I think Thomas is like on the ground, like you guys are both like sitting on the ground, like leaning up against trees or whatever. And he turns to you and says, where I come from, it's normal for my lovers to express their gratitude with shows of worship and obeisance.
And so I begin drawing in the dirt like this. at first it looks like a pattern, but as I'm tracing it, the swirls and stuff, as the camera zooms out, you see that it starts to form like this representation of some kind of figure in the dirt.
Mm-hmm. When you were having sex with Thomas, he's the first supernatural being you've ever had sex with, right? And I believe, unless there's something I forgot, I don't think so. I think he's the first like supernatural being you've ever had sex with, and so I'm curious, like particularly him being a dark fae, like how did that make it different? Like what was different about the experience to you?
Yeah, I think that it had like a sensory effect. So while we were going at it, I think that all the green foliage around started like glowing.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was like these purple veins inside of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like it was throbbing.
Oh, nice.
And then like I like to think that somewhere distance there was some kind of presence that I became aware of. Like something pulling just a little bit way deep in the forest.
Nice. So you're drawing this figure. What's the figure you're drawing? What's the out of character? What are we supposed to believe that to be?
It's him, but it's like stylized because I'm using like swirls and things.
Yeah. And what kind of reaction are you trying to get out of him right now?
I'm trying to get approval, I think. But also I think I'm trying to get like some degree of respect because I'm going along with this cult mentality that I have where we like do the swirls on ourselves, and I'm kind of manifesting that here.
I see. And he looks at that and he says, "Is that supposed to be me?"
It is, but not you as you are right now.
What does that mean?
Well, I know you're not from here. This is you where you're actually from. This is you from place.
He looks at it. He leans over and looking at it, and he says, "I think you should probably take an art class next semester."
And I think with that, I smear it, just like wipe it.
It's like, that looks even better. He's like,
and
Jonah, look, I know you think that you're out here doing wild things in the woods with you and your boys. I know you think that you're out here, getting in touch with nature and mastering the elements and the spirits or whatever the fuck. I'm here to tell you that you are a fucking cave dweller, and it's never going to happen. The most you'll ever be able to manage is just a crude, vague sense of ritual. No real power. I, on the other hand, have real power.
And what am I supposed to do with that?
I'm just saying, if you really, really want control over people, if you really, really want to explore the limits of human consciousness and ability, if you really want to wield magic, all you got to do is just keep doing as I tell you when I tell you. and it's all yours. No need to
And
drag
then
your friends out here under the pretext of some sort of holy natural right. Just come straight to the faucet and have a drink.
and then I stand up and I look I kind of look down at him and I'm like, this forest will be my kingdom and they will be my throne.
Okay, he says. He's like, all right, girl. He's like, why don't I take you home now?
And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use bot loyalty to I want to give Rhodey and Tony a string to tempt them to come to me right now.
Oh, so you want Rhodey and Tony to come right now?
Yeah.
For what purpose? What are you going to try to get them to do?
I just kind of want to kind of assert myself to Thomas a little bit, like that I am like serious and that I have power in a way, I guess.
I'm into that. Let me mark strings for them. That was Rhodey and Tony.
Tony.
Oh
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see. Tony's a bit preoccupied, but he will. I think Rhodey will come. Tony's not going to come.
Okay.
Unless he has to, per the move.
It's a tempt. I think I
Okay,
still
all right.
give them. I guess you can give a cost to it.
Let's see. You can give us this to tell you what sort of bribes it'll take to get the character. Oh, I see. Right. Okay, got it.
Right.
I think for Tony, I think you can send out like vibes into the world, and Rhodey will come no matter what. Or what was his name? Rhodey. Rhodey will come. But I think for Tony, I think you have to actually like go get him. He's so distracted right now. Like, so if you want to like have this scene somewhere else, go get Tony from where he's at, then fine. But otherwise, you got Rhodey. So.
I'll just stay with Rhodey, but I like to think that like maybe like Tony swerves on the road a little bit.
Nice. I was thinking
I feel like Jonah kind of has to like step it up somehow. Like he needs to like I know he's totally like, I even put like, I treat the notes section as kind of like his little diary, and I put that Thomas is a fairy prince and I'm totally his bitch.
Nice. You got to prove yourself, apparently.
Apparently, yeah. I have an idea though. So I think what Thomas wants is he just wants Jonah to like worship him and come to him for power. But I think what Jonah wants to like basically be the top dog around here.
I agree. I sort of get like the American Gods like vibe from from Thomas, where it's like I need people to pay attention to me type thing. Like that's what matters.
I really need to watch that.
The book is better, at least so far. I've only seen the first 3 episodes because I think that's all that's out right now. I think the book is better. But then again, that's
so bad at like taking time to sit down and read stuff though. Like I'll keep books on my like to be read shelf for like a year.
Well, to be fair, I listened to it via Audible.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
And so the audiobook of it, I think it's like a full cast.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It's really good.
It just seems like it's really expensive. I guess it's not because you get so many hours of entertainment. Like it's like $15 a month, I think, right?
Yeah.
19, I think. But you get like what, 1 or 2 credits a month? I can't remember.
So it depends on. There's lots of tiers, but like the one I have, or I just turned mine down. But what I had for a long time was $15 a month for 1 book a month. I eventually toned mine down to 1 credit every other month, so it's $15 every other month, just because I have a backlog of books that I have not gotten to yet that I need to. So.
Yeah, for me, it's books competing with podcasts.
Hey, that's the exact same thing I have.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to YouTube a lot. Like I have YouTube Red, so I can just like put something on in the background and listen to it. And then I listen to music as well. So
yeah. But yeah, the American Gods audiobook is really good. Although his name, one of the characters' names, when you hear it in audiobook, is way more obvious than if you read it. Because it's obvious when you say it and hear it because of the homonym, but if you read it, it probably wouldn't be obvious.
Low key.
Yeah.
I know. I did the same thing. I'm like, I can't believe I didn't pick up on that right away. The first time I read that book all the years ago when it came out.
All right. Where do we want to pick up from here? We've just seen Margot grab Ellen. Serena, you're with Tony.
Yeah. I want to figure out a way to go meet up with people. Probably Ellen, I think, is the most interesting person.
I think probably so, yeah.
So I want to figure out a way that could happen.
I think, have you spent your last Keep It Cool?
No, I haven't. So maybe that's how we figure it out, is like, how can we figure out, or how can Serena get to Tony to leave here without like telling the cops immediately? Or
I'm into it. Give me a if you just do you just want to find Ellen? Is that like kind of the main thing?
Yeah. Okay. Like from a player perspective, I think it would just be fun to run into Ellen and whoever she happens to be with right now.
So like just an accidental thing. Like you're not going to go specifically seek her out.
Yeah, not necessarily. Like, I mean, I think Serena kind of does want to. Like, Serena wants to find Ellen because she realizes it's not something that's up. But like, I don't know how she would find her.
I think like maybe the abyss will bring you guys together. I think that's possible.
Yeah,
like so maybe roll plus dark with your +1 forward.
Cool.
See how that goes. And this will be just kind of a custom move while the fly. Okay. 10 plus you find her, 7 9 you find her, but there's an issue. 6
or 6- I could run into somebody else because
Is that what you got?
yeah.
Nice. Let's see. Oh, I think it's okay. I'm into this. So I think like you, I think you guys are like, did you guys walk? Did you guys walk or you weren't driving?
Yeah, I
right?
think we were
You
just
walking.
walking.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think you're gonna just run into Rhodey. You know, you're gonna run into Rhodey like while he's
Yeah.
on the way, like like you just run into him, and he sees you both, and he's like, Rhodey sees Tony. He's like, "Oh, hey, are you gonna go see Jonah too?" And Tony's like, "Oh no, I decided not to."
Yeah, I kind of like
in the middle of
look at
this.
I kind of look at Tony, and like I'm trying to like I have that like moment where you see someone's faces that like trying to think back of like all there's like no he didn't get a call, he didn't get a text message, like when did he get this thing that he was supposed to. And then I like look at Rhodey and I kind of like look at him and it's like are you going out here, like because I'm assuming we're like going the opposite directions
Right,
maybe
yeah.
on the path, and so I'm like Jonah's out here in the forest.
He's like, yeah, that's what I think anyway.
Right back this direction, and like I'm like conspicuously like pointing at the dead body that we just had.
I think in the general vicinity.
Yeah,
maybe not,
in that direction, but like back that way, right?
It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I don't know.
And
maybe.
then I think I look at Tony. I'm like, does Jonah have anything to do with that thing that we just found?
Rhodey's like, I don't know what's going on, but Tony, we should probably go. And Tony's like, yeah, Serena, I think we should probably go. Look, maybe you go tell the cops what's going on.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll let you know what's going on later. Maybe we should just.
You're gonna follow them though, right?
Yeah, I'm totally gonna follow them. Like I'll let you know what's going on like later. I'll get back in touch on what I say if anything.
Like, yeah, you can tell he's totally like whatever he was feeling about the body you guys found. It just like has fallen away. In the face of like running into Rhodey and responding.
Cool. And so like I sort of just like wave to him because like we're in this weird awkward situation and like continue like walking towards the way I was going, but then like as soon as like I get around a bend or they get far enough, I like turn back around and start following them again.
Nice. Good. Margot and Ellen. So Margot, you're taking Ellen with you then to go meet Shadow Master 55. Is that the plan?
Yeah, but on my way there, I want to take a path in such a way that I walk right past where I saw Ellen's dad burying Ellen's body that time. And I'm going to be watching her real close to see as we get into proximity of that, if there's any reaction or not.
So doing a little investigation of your own. Okay, good. So you do, yeah. I think you even I think this is even one of the spots where he marked one of the trees, right? I mean, it's like one of those spots. And Ellen, you're starting to have like mix. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I'll just mark traumatized right now because that's my major move. So I am starting to I don't think we should go this way. This isn't the right way. This isn't the path we should go down.
How do you know what the right way is, Ellen? What's wrong?
Well, I mean, you know better because you know things. But maybe we should go. We should not go this way.
Whoa! Are you okay?
Oh, no.
Keep your cool, Ellen.
Ooh, and that's an 8 because I rolled a 6.
All right. You choose one from that list there, Margot.
I'm going to go with imposing, because that's the first time I've ever really seen Ellen not be the timid reactionary where she pushed
Mhm.
on something. And I'm going to be kind of like, okay. We can kind of go around that.
Yeah, let's do that. But and we should do this more often and go this way.
Well, so Margot, what are you feeling? I mean, you know what you saw.
Yeah, I know, and I know it's freaking her out. So I know there's some sort of connection, obviously, there. I'm just gonna toss out, like, you and your dad ever like go for walks or hikes out in the woods?
Oh yeah, I'm Daddy's little princess. Yeah.
Yeah. My dad says that about me all the time too.
My dad means it.
Yeah, but I really can't stand my dad. What do you think of your folks? Are they okay, or are they like always all over you?
I'll just take a moment to remind you, Kevin, that you have strings on Ellen if you want to really push here on Ellen doing something specific.
I do have that string from seeing her. Yeah, I'm gonna spend that string. Oh, I'm gonna spend one of my strings on Ellen here to really push on that relationship with her dad and being out in the woods, trying to get how she really feels about her dad, especially.
Maybe like a little glimpse, like the facade's tearing away or whatever.
Yeah.
Like whatever she's convinced herself is really happening with her dad, she begins to like a little bit of it like comes out.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
If you react that way, Lowell, or if she reacts that way, you get to mark an experience point. So
all right. I kind of listening, kind of shaking, and then I'll kind of lean in. Sometimes at night, he shows me how much he loves me. Sometimes I make him mad, though. And then he gets mad. And then my mom gets mad. And things happen, but it's my fault. It's my fault.
That's fucked up, Ellen.
How about your dad?
My dad's a total 100% asshole. I'll show you a couple of things about my dad. Are you
okay? Yeah, let's do that thing.
Okay. And I was just gonna kind of take you by the hand and lead you away from that area.
Everybody's vaping now. I hear that's in too.
I'll stop and pull my backpack off and pull out a pack of Camels. I'm like, I don't vape, but if you want to smoke, maybe I'll calm you down. You seem really shaken up here.
So if Margot like looks like she's offering cigarettes, oh yeah, I'm going to take a cigarette.
All right, flick the bic.
Do we think it's possible some sort of like, is this like turn someone on level of like of thing going on from Margot to Ellen, like just because Ellen is so susceptible to like people she thinks are cool or whatever, or like Margot.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's an entry. I think there's a door for you to step through there, Margot, if you want, right?
Yeah, and I definitely did want to try to calm her back down, and was like double horrified between having seen her body dumped in a grave once and then hearing about whatever the fuck's going on at home. I mean, that sounds even worse than my place. And yeah, so I'm reaching out emotionally as well as kind of like the physical being together here. Like I'll lean in and light her cigarette.
I think, Margot, why don't you go ahead and clear Little Woman and Terrified too? Because I feel like I think because like maybe you're perceiving Ellen to be more that, and like
so it could be worse.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's giving you kind of like a measure of like, okay, I've actually got some shit sorted out, and in fact, I know Shadow Master is just my dad. So, right,
yep. Yep, feeling some control maybe coming back here. Yeah. And then should I turn someone on?
Yeah. I think if you want, like, especially give me just like one little detail, like one little like.
So when she's got the cigarette in her hand, I'm gonna and she's still shaking. I'm gonna hold her hand steady around the wrist and lean in real close and light that.
Nice. Real hot.
Ten.
Good. And you get a string. And then as well, Ellen, you get to choose a reaction from the turn someone on list.
Well, I think I do kind of move to more sort of charmingly awkward and embarrassed, but with the under edge that I draw in the smoke, and then over the next little while it leaks out. Like I've forgotten how that works. And she's like, oh yes, and then and I start talking about things that I think people find cool, but she's desperately out of touch. So she's like, yeah, so I hear Pokemon's in.
Oh, yeah. It's yeah.
It's short for pocket monsters.
I did not know that. Oh, that's cool, Ellen. So you're really you're really into that whole pocket monster thing, huh?
No, I've never done it.
The chat,
I don't have a
just for
smartphone.
goodness sake, in the chat, Philip wrote conditioned nerd.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Can I make an argument that clears my traumatized, or should I just? Okay.
Yeah, I'm into it. Go for it.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to be just kind of trailing along like a little sister, talking as we go to meet the drug dealer.
Yep, inconsequential chit chat the rest of the way here until we get to the clearing.
That's a good scene. Good. All right, let's zoom into the Rhodey, Tony, Thomas, Jonah, Serena in tow scene. So you thought you weren't actually reaching Tony. You knew you were reaching Rhodey, but they both show up, and they step, kind of in, past the, into the tree line, like where you guys are at, like into the woods, and they, kind of step beyond some, copse of trees, and you see them. They see you all, and Rhodey's like, "What are you dudes up to?"
I've got the mask on, and I start taking off my clothes, and I'm like, for us to start dealing with the one who killed Dawn and other distractions around here. And I look at Thomas and I tell him, you give me the power I need to deal with them, and it's a deal.
When you say them, do you mean like Margot or?
Yeah, Margot and Serena.
He says,
and Big Man, I guess. I don't know. Although he hasn't really fucked with me at all.
He says, oh yeah, I can do that. But how do I know you're worthy of that power, Jonah? I mean, come on. We have kind of a situation where, your type, your kind, they don't really know how to commit to anything, I've found. They get wild ideas, they make promises, and then they break them, and just completely unreliable. I've got to know that you've got what it takes to go all in here. And Serena, I think you'll witness all of this just as a point of order. He says, I think, and then he pulls out of his I think he like goes into like he had his little shorts or whatever, you know. I think he's still in his underwear. He grabs his shorts and like he goes and he pulls a gun out of his shorts. And he says, and puts the gun in your hands, right?
Okay.
He says, he leans in over your shoulder from behind you and he says, I want you to make a little Sophie's choice here for me, Jonah. I want you to decide which of these two doesn't get on the train.
Between my gang?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will spend my string. I'll spend my string for you to do what he wants, which is to kill Tony or Rhodey. Your choice.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna point the gun at him and fire.
At Thomas?
Yeah.
Well, you'll get the
like,
XP then.
It's fine. I point the gun at him and I'm like, I think you're misunderstanding what kind of position I want here. And I fire.
Before you fire, Serena, you see all this go down. What do you do? Oh, you're muted, Yosh.
What do I do? Like, I think I'm standing about it, and like as soon as the gun like comes out, like I think probably the first thing I think of is shit. I've already been shot in the head once, and so like I want to like make sure like there's like the tree, like the gut reaction is like whatever I'm standing behind is like a solid thing that I can hide behind. Like that's my first reaction. But then I like look and see like I'm still like peeking out and what's going on. And it's weird because like I have this weird connection with Thomas that I don't really know what it's like, what's going on there. So,
but it feels like there's the promise of something more, right? Like
exactly.
He keeps inviting you into this like space of his, right?
And if I had to pick between Thomas and Jonah, I think I would go with Thomas over Jonah. So like I think maybe what I do is I do this stupid kid thing. I pick up a rock and throw it like a distance away from me, so there's some other sound, but it's not where I am, like type thing, just to like maybe get Jonah to turn around or do something like that.
Nice. So let's roll forward with that. So Jonah, you pull the gun on Thomas, and then you hear like this noise over there. And I should note that when you had the gun pulled on Thomas, he had like a smile on his face. He was like smirking at you when you put the gun at him. And then he's like, we should probably go check that out. And Rhodey and Tony are like, what was that? Did you hear that?
I look at Thomas and I say, you don't think I'm capable, but I'll show you that I am. And then I go walking towards the noise with Rhodey and Tony following me.
Nice. And I'm going to mark off the string that I spent on you. Just have that marked off. Well, Serena, maybe Serena, like maybe like, do you want it to be like where maybe only some of them go investigate it, and maybe Tony stays behind or something, or what?
Yeah, that's fine. Mostly like what I was originally afraid of is that Jonah was just going to shoot him in the head, and I couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
So like, but now like as things like go off,
I think Rhodey, Tony, Jonah. How about this? You and Rhodey and Tony all go off, leaving Thomas there.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was thinking.
Right.
Yeah. And so like I think if they like go off, I might like go around to like where Thomas is and just approach Thomas. Like maybe from the side, like where I may like, even if Jonah or Tony or one of them like turned around, they might still not see me type thing, but like I'm just off to the side. I'm like, hey.
He's like,
what the fuck is going on?
He's like, oh, did you hear all that and see all that?
Yes. Some of it, at least.
How does it make you feel?
I'm interested in this power you offered him, but I have no idea what the fuck is going on with him. Tony and Rhodey were just acting really weird, so I followed them here, and then I saw all of that. And
I will tell you that because of Thomas's like heightened state here, you know, like the sort of adrenaline of having a gun pulled on him, and really the adrenaline's really coming from the idea of he actually thought that Jonah might shoot either Rhodey or Tony.
Right.
He's giving off like he smells really good, like to your vampire senses. Like I think it might be a keep your cool to like just not try to feed on him right now.
Okay, I'm down for that. I'm doing stellar, keep my cool, and nothing else because I get another 10.
Okay. Do you want to ask a question for insight?
Yeah. I think actually what is there is I don't know if this is a good like insight question, but since Thomas was offering Jonah power, I kind of want to know what I could do to try to get Thomas to offer me power, or like whether that's like feeding on his blood, or like what I could do to try to like convince him to give me not necessarily the same deal, but something like that.
I think what you're going to learn is that let's say I'll just keep the scene rolling forward.
Yeah.
He says, listen,
I'm listening.
It's not really possible for you and I to have the same kind of relationship that Jonah and I have, because you're a dead thing. And unfortunately, because you're a dead thing, it's deeply, deeply sacrilegious for you to touch me. Like, it would be bad. I would never be able to face my people again.
Then what was up with that thing in the forest and the lake and the metal armor, and what is that all supposed to mean then?
Well, as long as your skin doesn't make contact with mine, it's a totally different circumstance.
Well,
he's like, and he kind of like begins to circle around you, and he's like, have you ever read the story of Pygmalion?
And I kind of look at him like, no.
Seen the movie My Fair Lady?
That one I have.
Right. You know how the professor kind of reshapes Eliza Doolittle to be what he needs her to be to fit in with society?
Yeah.
Oh. I think there could be a place for you at my court, but we may have to make some slight adjustments for you to fit in.
And what's so great about your court compared to what I've got going on here? Why would I want to be there?
Because this place is a shithole. All I can think about is how awful it smells every day when I wake up.
It's true.
But my court, well, let's just say we're getting ready to make some big moves. That's why I'm here. Sort of an advanced reconnaissance mission. We're getting ready to make some big moves because this area, despite being a total shithole, there's something special about it. And I'm starting to figure out what it is. And once we make our big moves, let's just say we're going to have a pretty big increase in territory. And I'll need some people to help me herd the cattle, so to speak.
And I like gesture towards Jonah and Tony, and I'm like, if those are the cattle that need to be herded, I think I could be your cowgirl.
Well, they'll be back over here any minute. We'll continue this discussion later.
Yeah.
You better go, though.
And yeah, so I'll just sort of like drop back out of like from a distance type thing.
Indeed. I need one more quick bio break. Sorry, and then
Cool.
Coffee. We'll come back. Oh, looks like we lost Philip here momentarily. Give him a minute. Oh, I like how these scenes are going.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're good. Yeah, they're all really good. I'm happy that we're. I was determined to have like a sort of like swing back away from Big Man and Bellefontaine because they were so heavy last session to like be and I suspect they're going to make an appearance at some point, like before we're done with the series. But I like that like we're kind of exploring a different part of the drama. So It is working well for me. It begs for a third series. I feel like there's got to be a third series in this somewhere. But we shall. Maybe I'll look at that for. Maybe I'll look at that for August. Could be a good August move. All right. Let me go to the Hangouts and see what's going on with Phil.
He's restarting.
Okay.
He had some problems.
I'm going to give him a minute because I think the next scene is going to be really intense with the Margot, Ellen, and Dad scene. So. Oh man, yeah, I like how we keep like. I like that we like routinely visit like what happened to Ellen. Like, I'm enjoying that. I love that we got to see the weird home life, Serena's weird home life, and just how like sort of almost like weirdly like clockwork her parents are when she's not there to, guide them or whatever. And
I like it how it's sort of like a competition for which household parents are the most like screwed up and
yeah. And then I also like how I like that Margot's story, like this session in particular, but even last session too, is remarkably like grounded. It's like the real human story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Compared where everybody else is having like this big supernatural story or whatever. I'm liking all that. So, all right, Philip's back. So the time and place. Margot and Ellen, you guys had this scene. Was there anything else we needed to resolve with that little intimate scene between the two of you, or I think we're all good, right?
No, we're smoking our cigarettes and walking over to the clearing to wait.
Yeah.
I'm slightly behind. Just kind of.
You hear your dad before you see him. I think he pulls up. I think he has a certain song playing loudly, blasting out of the windows of his like beat up car. I have to imagine it's something like the Eagles or Stairway to Heaven or something, right? I think it's something like that.
Yeah, either some classic rock or otherwise it's Nickelback, just to emphasize how
what a horrible human being is. Yeah, I think it's like a Leonard Skinner. I think it's like a Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
That's what he's playing, right?
That's it.
And I'm having an illicit drug transaction in the forest right now. It's like I'm blasting my stereo as I pull up. I think he gets out. I think he's got a 6-pack. I think he puts it on the hood of the car. He lights up a cigarette and pops open a beer. He's not aware of you yet, and he's doing his thing. Yeah, that's going on. What are you doing? Do you just walk up to him immediately, or do you kind of just watch him for a minute? Like, how does this go?
I'm gonna watch him for a minute, and I lean back to Ellen and whisper in her, "That's my dad. He's an asshole, and I just found out he thinks he's a drug dealer."
Oh, that's cool.
I like you, kid.
If you watch your dad for a minute, he'll kind of get bored while he's waiting, and he'll take out like a pair of nunchucks and start like doing nunchucks, like doing.
Have I ever seen him do anything?
I think totally. I think he like. All right. I think he's one of these guys who's like totally into, as he pronounces it, karate, right? Like he's totally that guy, right? Doing his thing, blasting his Leonard Skinner or whatever, and drinking a beer. So right. What do you do?
Are you gonna confront him?
Just watch. Stay back though. Probably don't let him see you. He's an asshole.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna walk into the clearing and, hey, you're getting pretty good with those chucks, Dad.
He's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
I'm, out here I'm meeting this Shadow Master 55. I think you've heard of him. He's like this asshole drug dealer type
He's
guy.
Like, are you Chad?
Obviously.
I think he's really confused about what's going on. He's like, oh, this all makes so much sense now. That guy who's been coming by the trailer asking for you is some kind of connection who's helping you move this shit at school. Why didn't you just tell me?
Boy, you just got this all fucked up, Dad. What the hell are you doing?
He's like,
moving drugs.
He's like, look. He's like,
do you know
look.
Mom would freak out if she knew about this? Does Mom know about this? Does she have a clue what you're doing?
He's like, look, I got an old friend of mine from the city got in touch with me. He's got a connection down in Old Mexico, and he wanted to find out if I could, maybe get involved in some stuff. He's like, you know some of the kids from the high school, and maybe you could get some stuff going there. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll start slinging at the high school, but I'm not going to go down to the fucking high school every day. Fuck that nonsense. So I was like, I'll get one of the kids to do it, and I didn't know it was you.
Well, I got some news for you, Pop. It wasn't me. You were selling to that fucking asshole, Chad, and you have horrible judgment. You've demonstrated it yet again. Because where did all your product go? It all went into him and his buddies. You're not getting dime one back on this. You fucked up.
And then I think at that point, Ellen, you're going to see, because you're kind of like, I assume you're standing back a little bit, right? You're going to see Chad like approaching quietly from the tree line, and he's got a gun. What do you do?
I took with my advanced limitless.
Okay.
So I am going to skitter up the tree like a spider.
Nice.
And then I'll leap from tree to tree and try to skitter down behind him to watch. Yeah.
Okay. He's like getting closer to the scene, and he's like, checking to make sure there's a bullet in the chamber, and he's watching. You can tell he can't really hear what's the conversation between Marco and Ken. But he's like, I think he's gonna like make a move. I think he's gonna go out there with a gun and like train it on Ken,
When he gets close to the edge of the wood line, I will go, "Hey, Chad!"
Nice.
Like from right behind him, so all their attention is drawn this way.
He will do it. I think he'll just freak out. I think he'll spin around and he'll just spin around and point the gun at you, right? And Margot, you're aware of this at this point. You see Chad like holding a gun up to Ellen. I want to keep your cools from both of you. I want to keep your cool from Ellen, both Ellen and Margot.
Ooh, 9.
10.
Okay, good. Margot, I'll give you the jump on Chad if you want it at any point, because you're going to go unnoticed. But Ellen, you have control of the scene here, and you also have the insight question. Just how do you want this to go?
So I guess my question is going to be, does he have the balls to shoot someone?
Yes.
Oh.
He does.
Then I'm just going to kind of walk forward towards him, fascinated, because something bad is going to happen here. I don't know what.
You sense, Margot, you smell like you've smelled it before. You smell like this, like off Chad, this like fear and nervousness that's going to lead to like rash action. What do you do?
Asshole, I told you could come out and watch. Put that damn gun away. That's not going to fix anything. You think you got problems now. You shoot someone, those problems are going to be huge. You got fucking FBI guy in town. Put it away. Dude.
Do a...
Is that a shutdown? What is that?
I think it's... Do you have a string on him by chance?
No, I just checked to see if I did. I'm really disappointed I do not.
Although, I think he's going to listen to you. I think Ellen like steps right close to like where the gun is like up against her chest or something, right? And he's like, Chad's like, you're right. I didn't come here for her. I didn't come here for you. And he like steps forward and like trains the gun on Ken. And he's like, I came here for him. And he's like, Shadow Master 55. I'm about to clear all my debts right now. I'm about to be at 0. The ledger completely cleared. And he's like, I think he's going to shoot your dad. And I'm going to spend... Does he have a string on you? He does not have a string on you. Mm. What do you do?
I'm going to attempt to knock his aim wide if I can. So I might start to mini Hulk out here a bit just so I have the extra speed and strength. It's like a calculated decision and risk. I don't want my dad getting shot as much of an asshole as he is.
Yeah, I like that. I'm trying to think what makes sense here. If it's lash out physically, maybe you're just trying to like bump the thing out of his hand.
I'm not actually trying to injure him. I just want to make sure that he doesn't wind up shooting someone, and then we're going to be in such a frickin' mess.
Let's just roll plus cool.
All right. Ooh, 11.
Nice. I'll let you have full control of the situation with Chad here. What do you do?
All right. So, Ellen, you get to see me transform slightly. You see it. You can see muscles and stuff. Just
actually, can we cut? Let's cut. We'll come back.
Yep. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I would have cut there. I should have cut there when I pulled the gun on the dad, but it's okay. Jonah, you come back and you just find Thomas. And what do you do? You didn't find anything.
And I look at him and I'm like, did you see anyone here?
He turns to look at you and he says, "Nope, I heard the same noise you did."
And
you know he's lying,
right?
Because he's part of your gang now, right?
I turn away from him. I turn to the others, and I'm like, "All right, I know it's been, a week, but I think that it's time we do Don some justice." And I walk up to Rhodey, and I kind of I think I start like unbuttoning his shirt.
You guys have the weirdest grieving procedure.
And I'm like, it's going to be tough. And I'm kind of talking as I'm like undressing him. But nothing worthwhile ever comes easy. And then I like bend down and grab some mud and start doing the swirls on him. And I'm like, I want you to, and I think I'm spinning a string.
On who?
To do this, or pulling a string to tempt him to, and what I say is I want you to.
Who are you speaking to? Like, who is this?
This is Rhodey.
Okay.
And so I'm telling Rhodey, I want you to go and get that FBI agent and get him onto Margot's trail. Can you do that for me?
he will be nervous about that because you're asking him to basically like get involved in this investigation, which his friend was just, his friend was murdered, and therefore he's somewhat like, like connected to. You're pulling string, so when you pull string on an NPC, I can't remember how that works. Let me look. When you tempt one of the MC's characters, they'll tell you what sort of bribe, threat, or cook. Oh, okay. I think like it's going to work, but you're going to have to like you're going to have to use your magnetism and your and your processes here to like buck up his confidence, right? A little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, I finish undressing him, and I make the swirls on him, and I'm like pressing him up against a tree, and I think I just start like rubbing him, and I think I bite like his shoulder like really hard.
Nice. And he kind of cries out in pain a little bit, and he's like, yeah, all right. He's like, I got it. I'll go talk to Bellefontaine. Like, we'll get this figured out. Like, Margot's going down.
And then I turn around to Tony, and I think I walk up to him and grab him by his shirt and start pulling him with me, like over towards this little cleared area of the dirt, and I pull him to where I had drawn that thing for Thomas. I pull him, and then I'm like, Tony, you've been a bit distracted.
He's like, yeah, I guess. I mean, dawn and everything.
And I start undressing him, and I start saying, you haven't forgotten about what we do, have you?
No, man. No, of course not.
There's something bigger going on here, right?
Right. Like you always said. Yeah. Like,
and then I think I like grab him by the balls.
okay.
And I like kind of say into his ear, I'm like, that you'll be by my side when I get the forest. And I'm totally trying to turn him on.
Go for it. You trying to get string on him? Do you not have any string on him right now?
Oh God, that is a 6.
Nice. Hold that thought. Serena, where do you go after you slink away from Thomas?
Yeah.
Or are you still just watching this?
I think I'm still just watching it from like a distance. And I think maybe like I see everything that's going on, and just because I can, I'm probably like taking like super distant like photos of it, but like you probably couldn't tell anything because I'm like 30 yards away or something, like, so it just like looks like a forest, but like maybe if you zoomed in you could see something weird is going on.
Yeah. I'm into that. But so you're not going to intervene though, you're like just gonna kind of hang back.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hang back. I think depending on how the Tony Jonah thing works in, like I might try to like go get Tony if he like storms off or something like that.
Okay, so you're on scene. I think what we'll do is just So I've got a 6- to play with. I feel like Thomas should do some fuckery right here. This feels like because he's there on scene, and some Thomas fuckery would be really, really good. I think Thomas steps up to you. He steps up to you, Jonah, and he says, I'm taking string on you for your miss, and I'm going to spend it immediately, which means you'll get an XP if you let this happen. He says, let's try something, Jonah. He's like, right now, I can infuse Tony with my power so that he is a completely relentless servant and will do exactly as you wish. And he'll be very, very competent. What do you say? He says, I just need a little bit of his blood. And he'll take Tony's hand, and he's got like a pocket knife or something, and he's just going to cut open Tony's palm. Do you let that happen? I'll spend the string. If you take an XP, let it go.
So he's offering to make Tony like a thrall.
He's offering to like infuse Tony with his power. That's what he says anyway, right? First, he just needs some of his blood.
No, I don't like this. No. No, I'm gonna push Thomas away. Like I physically like push him away, and I'm like, that's not how this works.
He says, all right.
And I think I'm actually gonna like lash out at Tony too.
Really?
Did. Yeah.
I'm into that. Like, so you're just gonna attack him or what? Like,
yeah, like I got the sense that he was like not really like going along with it. Like my thing wasn't working on him, so I'm like switching modes here. So I'm just gonna like, after I push away Thomas, I'm gonna like punch Tony right in the face. I'm being a total asshole right now.
Lash out physically.
What's that with volatile? Oh god, that's a
oh Yoshi, you were muted if you were saying something, Yoshi.
I'm doing so bad right now.
I was gonna say this might be the time where Serena steps in to try to help Tony out to like separate them even further.
Yeah. Well, let's see how the roll goes. What do you got?
Yeah.
I got a 4.
A 4. All right, mark an XP. I think you punch Tony, and he kind of reels like kind of like in the same direction that Thomas was, and like I think Thomas kind of like catches him a little bit, you know, and he's like Jonah, dude, I promise you're gonna love this. And he just like, and I think he just cuts like a really deep like cut like into Tony, and like his blood is like running pretty freely. Serena, you smell it. How do you react? What do you do?
Yeah, I think I come in like super quick, like unnaturally quick to like come in, and maybe like as Tony gets slashed and is like maybe stumbling backwards, I think he like totally like stumbles into my arms or like whatever.
Oh, nice.
Like I'm just there, and like you said on his shoulder, right?
Yeah.
So like I think what it is, like I don't think I can like the blood is already there and flowing, and so like I think I just like lean over and start to like
nice.
like drink in the blood on his shoulder as he like falls into my arms.
Nice. So creepy. I'm into it. I'll take that as feeding.
Yeah, cool. So I think we both get XP because I haven't fed on Tony yet.
Well, Tony, yeah, it doesn't matter for Tony.
Yeah, but he doesn't. I heal one heart. I guess I'll take one forward, and they don't die.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna cut away.
Perfect.
All right. So, Ellen, you look like you have something you want to say.
Well, if the gun goes off, I want to do something.
Okay. Well, I don't know yet. So, Margot, how does this? I mean, we can talk about how we want the scene to proceed, but Margot, you're in control. So, Oh, you're muted, Kevin.
So you see Margot's arms elongate slightly and muscle bulk up all along her arms and shoulders, and she's a little hunched over. And you see her move with like just really incredible speed, close in with Chad, grab him by the wrist with both hands and swing his hands up in the air. So maybe a shot fires wild up in the air, and it's really insanely loud.
Can it go side to the side?
Sure.
Okay.
What are you thinking here?
Just because I see a gun, I see it's going to go off, and the back of my mind is maybe I can get out of this, and I step in the way of the gun.
Oh, nice.
Like maybe somebody else killing me will free me.
Oh, nice.
You like instinctually get in the way of that.
So you take the bullet. Bam, and you collapse and you fall down. And Ken is like, "Holy shit!" And Chad is like, "Holy shit!" Like it's just like, "Oh crap!" Like they're gonna try to just run away.
Yeah, I'm like, "You fucking idiot! I told you to put that gun away." I'm gonna run over to Ellen if I don't lose my cool.
Yeah, keep your cool. Let's see how this goes.
Oh yeah, fail. Bye.
Margot, you go down to go help Ellen, who is shot and bleeding out in the stomach, and there's just a bloom in your head as you take a bullet in the head as well. Just pow.
Oh, fuck.
And okay. I think we cut there. There's nothing to be done.
That was insane.
I think for us on the other side is we hear the shot.
You hear the shots, yeah.
Right. And then we all turn, everybody here, no matter who we are, is we turn to see the shot, where the shot comes from, and then we hear a second shot.
Oh my.
Exactly. I think so. I think for both of you, I'm maxing you both out. So you'll have to do one of your either go darkest self or lose all your strings for both of you. So
we know where Margot's gonna go.
Yeah, so just that's not going to happen this session, but we'll probably pick up this time.
Just mark 4 harm. Right there,
so just mark 4 harm for now.
Yeah.
Well, so Jonah, you see Serena licking Tony's blood and holding him.
And then we hear these shots and we all look. And then I turn back to Serena and hold up the gun that I'm holding.
It's like a weird Mexican standoff thing going on all over the forest. Serena, how do you respond?
I think I look at Jonah as he's pointing the gun at my face, and I can't. I'm almost holding Tony up, and so I'm like, look, if I try to bring my hands up, Tony's gonna fall down here. And I'm saying this as blood is dripping down the side of my face. I'm looking at it as I can bring my hands up, but I don't think that's what you actually want.
Is this a string situation maybe? Do you have any strings?
Ooh, do I have strings on Jonah?
I think you do.
I spent the only string I had on you earlier.
Yeah, and you don't have strings on her either. You guys have no strings on one another. So this is just going to play out however it plays out.
Yeah. But I have a string on Thomas.
You do.
So
but you could do dark power. Dark power would be great right now, right?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. I am going to toss aside the gun, and then I'm going to
smart move.
What I want is to have power right now to just kind of flash behind Serena and grab her.
So do you want to take
and fuck with her?
The power flows through you, so you get a +2 to your roll.
I was thinking actually just use strings attached and just spin a string on Thomas or something.
I think that might require it might require a bit more of a negotiation, and I feel like in this scene we don't really have that kind of really have that kind of space in the scene to do that. So, but if you want to do power flows through, you just do +2 to your roll. So, and then and you don't have to spend anything. It just Thomas just gets a string on you for doing that. So,
yeah, I think I'm probably lashing out, right?
Yeah, lash out physically against Serena.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you gonna shoot her? Or are you gonna run up and do what? How are you?
No, I just want to I want to do this thing where I just rush behind her.
Oh, I got it. Just grab her.
It's supernatural, yeah, and then just grab her.
Okay. So we have to kind of so I think Thomas, so Thomas will, how do you know you're filled with Thomas's power? Even if Thomas didn't intend for you to give you this power right at this moment, how do you know it's Thomas's power?
Swirls on me kind of start to glow, and I think the eyes of the mask flash flash green or something, and yeah, then I think it's just like a blur, and so that gives me +2, right?
Right, it does.
So that actually brings me to a 10 on that roll.
Nice. So when you lash out physically, you deal harm, and they choke up momentarily, so you have control of the situation as well, and you get to and that's that. So how are you attacking her?
Yeah, I think what I do is I just there's a green blur, and then I'm behind her, grabbing her, holding her up in the air by the neck, and I'm haven't you learned not to fuck with me? And then I'm just gonna throw her behind me up in the air into the floor.
That's right. You've done this once before, yeah. In a way. I think you'll just take Serena. I think you'll just take 2 harm, and when he tosses you, and I think we'll just cut that right there. It feels like a good place to end the scene, the session. Okay, so that was really great. We have 2 very hot situations. One very, very hot. I just want to find out before we go, what option will the 2 of you take, Margot and Ellen, for having 4 harm? Will you? If it's the same as Monsterhearts 1, you can either go into darkest self, or you can just erase all the strings that you have.
Yeah, it is the same.
Okay.
I've been thinking here, and I think I'm going to let go of all my strings, because I want to avoid any additional damage that Margot does.
Right. Yeah.
On this, so that's where I'll go.
Yeah, because you might attack your dad, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
You go really badly. Okay, good. So then I know how you're coming back, and maybe we'll see how that goes. What about you, Ellen? How are you going to come back?
Oh, I think we're just going to erase all my strings as I die there, and I'll wake up later at home.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen for you for sure. And I think basically what we're gonna see for Margot as we kind of close the session out is, I think your dad just ran.
Of course he did.
I think your dad ran. Chad ran, and then we just see these dusty yellow pant legs step into frame, and these boots over your dead body, and we just hear "Oh, little girl, what kind of trouble did you get yourself into today?" And then we'll just cut it there.
Nice. Oh my God, that was awesome.
Good.
All right. Well, we have the finale next week. I think it's going to be a really good one. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going great. I have no feedback apart from just this series is super fun. I'm really happy with how it's going. So thank you guys.
Yeah. Super, super fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, cool. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next week. Hopefully.
Perfect. Bye, everyone.
Guys.
Bye.
Bye.